Okay, this is Brian Childress. He's the retired police chief from Valdosta, Georgia. And we had started talking a little bit ago about the difference between a death scene investigation and a crime scene investigation. So can you educate us?
Well, there is no difference. There is no difference. Here's the thing that I think the public and sometimes the media they misconstrue that. Look, anytime you find a deceased body, this is crime scene 101. It's a crime scene. In the Kendrick Johnson case was no exception. Because you don't know what happened. You think once you get to a scene, you start developing a theory of what may have happened when you find a deceased body. But anytime you find a deceased body anywhere in America, and Lee, you know that I go around doing all these assessments and stuff with law enforcement, and I teach this stuff too. So, in either case, yes, the Kendrick Johnson death scene was a crime scene. Now, the county may have called it something different, and the public, the family may want to call it something different, but it was a crime scene and you treat it as a crime scene. And the idea with that is you don't know what happened. You have theories of what happened, but so if you treat it as a crime scene, any deceased body, you're going to be a lot more careful.
Absolutely.
And I certainly think that's what I certainly believe, based off my review of that case. I certainly believe that the sheriff's office was careful, and so was the GBI. But if the public, for future reference, if you hear someone say it was a death scene or a crime scene, it's the same thing. Okay. And that's pretty much the way we investigate it.
Because a lot of the social media posts they're treating it as a murder investigation, and therefore people had already concluded that they said it was murder. You want to tell me why?
Well, but here's the thing. You'll run into some chiefs and sheriffs, and I'm not talking necessarily about Lowndes County, but you'll run into some chiefs and sheriffs who are a little careful about what they call a scene. To me, it doesn't matter to me, because it's still a crime scene. And
you're going to process it the
right.
Same way regardless.
Exactly, because the thing is, you always want to treat a scene like that involving a deceased human body. You always want to treat it with extremely careful. Well, so we train folks. It's a crime scene. It's the same concept as some folks get tied up and say, well, they called it a murder, and then later they changed it. Well, that's very normal. Because, if you go to a scene, for example, the law enforcement involved shootings, you may have a prosecutor say, well, it's a murder investigation. That's because someone died.
At the hands of somebody else.
At the hands of someone else.
Whether it was justified or
right.
not remains to be figured out.
Exactly. Well, so the other thing is that, every state has their own uniform crime reporting, which reports to the FBI uniform crime reporting, and so you have clearances that are set by the federal government, crime or incident clearances. So you can call a deceased body scene, where someone died at the hands of another human being, would be called a murder. And then it's how you clear it. It's how you clear it.
And when you say clear, that means what?
It could be cleared by arrest, which means it was a murder, or it could be cleared as unfounded. It could be cleared as a justified shooting. Those kinds of things too. So, folks should not get caught up in how law enforcement refer to a scene or how they call a case. They just shouldn't, because to me that's lack of knowledge of the criminal justice system.
Thank you. Okay, and this is Lee Touchton. Brian and I are friends. We go hiking all over South Georgia. This is where we're driving right now. We just got done hiking at Grassy Pond. We're headed up Highway 41 back to Valdosta from Lake Park, Georgia. I got to know Brian because I was a former president of the NAACP, and he did a lot of community outreach. So we'll be talking about things in Valdosta and in South Georgia, and take from it what you will. Have a good day, y'all.